What's up YouTube, Kristo here, and I've got a video for you. I'm gonna do a rant video. I've never actually done one, and thought this is as good a time of any because there's something I really want to talk about. A new fragrance that has very recently been released, Pharrell Williams' Girl, which is a collaboration with the avant-garde fashion fragrance house Comme Garçons. Now, if you haven't seen my channel or don't know much about my channel, I am a huge fanboy of Comme Garçons. It's absolutely, without a doubt, my favorite fragrance house ever. Their extensive catalog is, for the most part, really well done. I really like everything, almost everything they've ever made. Just fascinating, just exactly the kind of fragrances I want. They're kind of strange, they're different, just pushing the envelope, doing something that hasn't really been done before. Pharrell Williams, on the other hand, I have never really liked his music. I'm not just saying this to be hateful, to, you know, be jealous of his fame and all of that, but even since back when he was working with Nerd and the Neptunes, didn't like them. I found them really boring, really uninteresting. A lot of my friends in college were talking about them, you know, how they were so different and so creative and, you know, just doing something that hadn't been done before. Finally got to listen to them. I was like, well, yeah, maybe if you've only ever listened to MTV. They were absolutely not doing anything new, nothing different, but for a very generic, boring, mainstream MTV kind of fan base, yeah, they were doing something that wasn't really that well known. So what I'm going to do here, I kind of just want to talk about it. I'm not really planning anything specific. There are certain points I want to make, but yeah, it's kind of a rant, a tangent, or whatever. Now, since I don't have the bottle, or even a sample, I've not tried it yet, and I'm going to mention that later. I'm just going to randomly show some different fragrances from Comme Garçons in comparison, or to tell a little story about, you know, what direction I think the house is going in. People started talking about Comme Garçons selling out back in 2012, 2013. The first time really people started mentioning them being a sellout is when they released this Amazing Green. Now, obviously you can tell this is meant to be a green fragrance, which I don't really understand how that means Comme Garçons are selling out, because they have also done the Leaves series, which, as you can see by the bottle, and you should know from the name, anyone who has ever seen a leaf knows what color it is. It's green. So, Amazing Green is absolutely in no way the first green fragrance Comme Garçons had ever done. So, that right there, I think, is already kind of shot down the fact that they were trying to sell out. But, jump to 2013, and Comme Garçons did the mini-series Blue, including Cedrat, Santal, and Encens. Now, these are samples. I have tried one Amazing Green as well. I do actually have a bottle of this, but the sample's easier to stand up. So the Blue series here are really boring, and this is definitely the first time that I can admit that perhaps Comme Garçons might have been going down that road, trying to attract a more mainstream audience by making fresher, cleaner fragrances that will appeal to more people. But the only problem with that theory is that the same year they also released, in my opinion, one of the most bizarre, avant-garde, outrageous, semi-mainstream niche fragrances in a long time. They released this, Black. And Black is basically a fragrance that smells like burnt road tar. And it is just like nothing that has ever really been out in the niche market. There's a few things I can mildly compare it to, but this just blows them away and just takes what they did to a whole nother level. Le Labo's Patchouli 24, for example, but this is like Patchouli 24 taken to whole new extremes. Next fragrance, obviously, that their main release is Girl, Comme des Garçons. Now, the thing is, it's not really being listed as a Comme des Garçons fragrance. Comme des Garçons is kind of like an after mention. It is usually referred to as a Pharrell fragrance. And this is definitely not the first collaboration Comme des Garçons have ever done. They've actually done numerous ones before. Some notable ones including Airborne, a collaboration with European fashion designer Hussein Chalayan. This is a really beautiful fragrance. It's kind of like a woody tree, kind of citrusy fragrance. I mean tree, not just woody, because it actually smells like bark as well, which is really, really cool. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest here. I'm really not into high fashion. Sometimes I can appreciate it, but it's just so out of my element that I am a bit of a Philistine when it comes to it. It's expensive. It's very hard to find, especially where I live. And honestly, it's not really the kind of stuff I would want to wear casually or formally at work. Okay, usually it's just too out there for me. Another collaboration they've done, Stephen Jones. This is a fragrance from the British Milner, who is famous for making some of the most outrageous hats ever. His work is stunning. Again, I'm not really into high fashion, but I can definitely appreciate art, and his work is absolutely, without a doubt, works of art. This is, again, the kind of market that I would think and would expect Comme des Garçons to try to attract. Very high-end, very sophisticated, but at the same time, very experimental, avant-garde, abstract, you know, just every kind of adjective you can imagine to describe something that's creative and artistic and non-mainstream. This fragrance here actually smells like burnt violet leaves. It's very strange. It's kind of like a neo-Gothic space age avant-garde abstract floral fragrance. It's so strange. It's really hard to wear actually, but it is an amazing fragrance. Now, let's talk a little bit about Girl. I haven't tried it. That's totally true. I will try it. I definitely will try it. And you know what? I would like to like it because I love Comme des Garçons, and I think it's always a great surprise when you write something off or expect something to be nothing special or even terrible and you turn out to like it. I think that's great. As a perfume lover, of course, I'm going to like it when I'm surprised in a good way about how much I like a fragrance. I thought I wouldn't. It's just, to me, the collaboration is not the kind of target audience that Comme des Garçons would or should go for. Pharrell is in my opinion, very boring, overrated, pop, rock, rap, MTV celebrity, and Comme des Garçons is the exact opposite of that. Pharrell's new song, I gotta talk about it, I've gotta talk about it. His new song, Happy, basically the song of the year. It's just, to me, I don't understand the appeal to it, other than maybe it is happy. But it's a brainless, uninspired, boring song with nonsensical, goofy lyrics that are interpreted as being, I don't know, poetic or deep or something. The beat in the song is just so boring and simple and repetitive through basically the whole song. I could play that on the drum kit. And I'm sure it's synthesized. It's probably not even anyone actually playing a drum kit. And then you look at the lyrics and they're just so goofy and silly and, you know, I'm feeling like a room without a roof. I don't know if that's a really bad attempt at trying to be profound and obscure, or if it's just like an easy lyric to rhyme with something else that sounds a bit esoteric or strange or bizarre or something. But either way, I really genuinely would list it as one of the worst pop songs, you know, in the last half a decade, you know, up there with some Black Eyed Peas garbage. Terrible. It's a terrible song. I've never been a fan of his. I totally admit it. But again, you know, I love music a lot, and if I found an album from him that I really liked, I would be happy. I'm sorry, I actually didn't mean to use that pun. I actually didn't plan that. He wrote the music for Despicable Me, a movie that my 3-year-old son, or not even 3-year-old son, likes to watch. I just don't see how Comme des Garçons can do a collaboration with someone who made the music for a children's cartoon. It's an alright movie, but the music is, you know, just like him. It's boring, it's poppy, and it's trying to appeal to a mass target audience, something that Comme des Garçons hasn't done before, and I find it a bit alarming. Now, I'll give a couple examples of some good collaborations, or more suitable collaborations. Pharrell has recently mentioned that he's been a Comme des Garçons fan for a couple of years. John Waters, who is an amazing director, kind of performance artist, I guess, in a way, author, kind of a celebrity commentator as well. I think he is a much better example of someone that Comme des Garçons could have collaborated with. He has been admittedly a rabid Comme des Garçons fan for decades, for a long, long, long time. He openly talks about them. He talks about them in a lot of his books that he's written. And I'm a huge John Waters fan, so needless to say, I would probably be very, very interested in a John Waters Comme des Garçons collaboration. If they did a fragrance for Female Trouble, I'd be all over that. Now, if you want to go for kind of a cool, young, black, urban musician, again, I think there's better. Raphael Saadiq, he's definitely not mainstream, neither is Comme des Garçons, though. I think he would be a much better collaborator. And he's even in a kind of a similar genre, but his music is so much better, it's so much more original, it's so much better composed and performed as well. He's kind of like a neo soul R&B with a twist, kind of like a 60s teen idol with, you know, a lot of soul and R&B mixed in. I love Raphael Saadiq. I think his music is great. You could even go a bit more even obscure and go for someone like MC Ride from Death Grips. Another cool, young, like beyond cool, like art school, angry MC from an experimental, very experimental hip-hop outfit. I'm not a huge fan of all their music. I think some of it is just a bit too extreme or tries a bit too hard. But again, it is the same market that I could see Comme des Garçons trying to target. I am just kind of concerned, worried maybe, that they're going down that path, trying to get attention and money from the MTV kids, you know. Even like, you know, 12-year-old kids are listening to Pharrell, and they're probably 12-year-old kids that are interested in Girl, all the way up to, you know, like college kids and frat boys and stuff. So, what are your opinions on Girl? Are you as concerned as I am about Comme des Garçons? Maybe you don't even like Comme des Garçons. Maybe you love Pharrell, don't like Comme des Garçons. I don't know. What do you think? Have you tried the fragrance? What are your thoughts on it? What were your thoughts about the collaboration before you tried it, or before you heard about, you know, the feedback about the fragrance? For the record, I should say, most people I have heard that have tried this, Girl, have not been impressed. They said it's really boring, which, unfortunately, again, it's just a bit more proof that that's the direction they're going. I'd love to hear your feedback, because I am really interested to try this fragrance, although I can't imagine it's that great. So, remember, this is just my opinion, and everyone's entitled to theirs. So, let me know what you think of Pharrell, Comme des Garçons, Girl. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you again soon.